So if you can't tell, I'm in the hotel right now because my life is currently falling apart. I'm here because my house is going under construction, and not the good kind of construction. It's going through some repairs that have to get fixed unless I want to live in a moldy, broken home, which I don't. And even though that is one of the biggest problems that I've been dealing with this past month, I'm still trying to stay positive. I'm still trying to see this from a gratitude perspective. No. And I'm still trying to find gratitude so that I can stay in this like gratitude mindset. And it's actually been working. That's why I kind of want to make this video, because one, I want to remind myself like, hey, you will get through this. It's not so bad. But two, also as proof to show how far I've come since my old anxiety days. And one of the things that's helped me a lot get to this point is actually meditation and journaling. Because I even told my husband, I was like, your car broke down, so we're down to one car. Our washer broke down. We're going through this whole construction thing. I told him, I was like, is this toxic positivity? Because I couldn't believe that I was in such an eerie state of calmness. Because I'm like, normally I would want to just like face plant onto my bed, just be depressed and incapacitated. I would just be in this feeling of dread. One, I think, being a mom doesn't give you that option, to be honest. But two, I think that I had to check myself, because I was like, am I thinking like, oh, everything's gonna be okay and like, it is what it is? And it's like, no, I'm not just leaving it up to the universe that like things are gonna just work out. I mean, I am, but I have to take an active role in that happening. So when I first found out that we had water damage, instead of like screaming into a pillow, I decided to be proactive. And first what I did was I pulled up ChatGPT, because for the situation I was in, I didn't even know who I had to freaking contact. And that's what I'm so grateful for ChatGPT, because it told me who I needed to call. I then asked it, what are the things I should ask for? Next time I know to ask the people what the process looks like, because I did not expect for me to be out of the house more than a week and a half. That would have been nice to know ahead of time. So I had my little spreadsheet, wrote down all the numbers of potential contractors, and I started calling them. Then I had to figure out how I was going to finance it, and I had to go take out a loan, which was very scary and not something that I wanted to do for something that I wasn't even going to technically enjoy. I mean, I am going to enjoy a nice clean house that's not molding or whatever, but it's not like I'm renovating the bathroom or the kitchen or anything. It's just me fixing an issue that could have been preventable. Homeowner duty. Like, I can still reframe this in a positive light and still be grateful for things. Like, for example, I'm grateful for the time that I was able to spend with my girls, because I have twins, so I don't ever really travel outside of the house with them, because I'm always afraid like somebody's gonna snatch them. So I'm grateful that I'm able to take a break from all of the cleaning that I normally do. I'm grateful that I was able to declutter a lot of the stuff that I have, and even though it still sucks, I'm grateful. I'm now going to be going back to a place that is not cluttered with stuff I didn't need. It's stuff that needed to be clear out since I first bought the house in 2015. It's something that... So we're having a change of scenery because my family came home and my battery also died. I think the main thing that has helped to for me to not just spiral out of control and just be filled with dread was that, one, I had ChatGPT on my side. ChatGPT was able to kind of guide me of hey, what am I supposed to do? What questions am I supposed to ask? What is the process like? Because I was able to ask ChatGPT all the anxiety filled questions I would normally have and actually have somebody to answer them, that kind of gave me some peace inside. On top of that, meditation and journaling also help. And I know that it's kind of cheesy to say
oh, meditation and journaling, they help.
I know it seems very cliche, but the way I meditate is a little bit different, because most people say when you meditate, you keep your mind still, you become present and one with how you're currently feeling. And to me, the way I meditate is I daydream first about all the thoughts that are running through my head. I kind of think of worst case scenarios and just think of all the sucky feelings I would normally try to repress. And then once I do that, I transition to the gratitude portion, where I'm grateful that I caught the damage in time. I'm grateful that I have a nose to smell that something was wrong. I'm grateful that this didn't lead into an electrical problem that could have sparked a fire. Grateful that I have a credit score that was able to help me get a loan so that I can pay for things. I'm grateful that this is a common problem that water restoration people have dealt with before. Once I've already thought of the worst case scenarios, all the things to be grateful for, that's when I started doing affirmations, which is for me right now, the affirmation I keep on reminding myself is that my mind is calm, focused, and well organized.
My mind is calm, focused, and well organized.
And when I repeat that to myself, that's when I start thinking of the questions that I want answered. That's why I use tarot cards to kind of help me out. And I know tarot cards are kind of woo-woo. A lot of people have like a lot of bad connotations with tarot cards. And I can see where if you think of them from like a fortune telling aspect, that it can look like that. But to me, I use them as prompts to kind of guide like my journal writing. I use tarot cards to check in with myself so I have a better understanding of how I feel at that moment. And then whatever I pull, then I write a journal entry in regards to the connections that I made. It helps me make sense of like my inner thought. Once I do all of that, then I feel so much peace with myself and I feel so much calmness that like I got this. I will figure things out. It's not the end of the world. Sorry, it got hot outside. So I know that the difference between what I'm doing and what people call toxic positivity is different is the fact that I'm not denying that I have negative emotions. In fact, I'm actually acknowledging them and trying to understand the reality of the situation, but also being proactive and working alongside the universe in guiding me out of this situation. Now that I'm reframing things in a way that I ask myself, how can I learn from the situation? What can I do to avoid this? I acknowledge that both things can be true. Like, this can be a shitty situation, but I can also see the positive aspects from it. I'm pretty proud of myself. This was a side of me I never thought would exist, and I'm glad that I'm here because it makes dealing with life a lot easier or a lot more manageable. But I do acknowledge that meditation, therapy, medication, all of those play a big factor into things. I'm not trying to stay positive in the sense that it's like, you know, just be positive, think positive thoughts. I'm staying positive in a way that forces me to seek solutions so that it can turn into an actual positive. As far as self-reflection goes, when I was journaling, I was able to really like think of the ways that I could learn from this, right? I learned that, you know, I had been careless with my home. I had not been paying attention to it, and that's what essentially got me into this mess. I have to be intentional with my home. I want to take care of it and upkeep it in a way that brings me joy and not a bunch of headaches. The next video I'm probably gonna make is gonna be like a deeper look into my meditation process with all the stuff that I normally use, so that you guys have a better idea of how I go about it in case you guys want to try it out for yourself. And then I also want to make a video on ChatGPT on how you guys can set it up on your phone so that you guys can ask it all of your anxiety ridden questions so that you have more peace. And then I want to show you how I also use it, because I use it in a lot of different ways. So subscribe if you want to see those videos. The biggest takeaway I want you to take from this video is to remember that there's always something to be grateful for, even though it doesn't seem like it's apparent. It's like the little things. It's like, I have eyes, I lived another day. Like, there's always something to be grateful for. Self-reflection is necessary and helping you get through, you know, any major challenges, because it'll give you guidance on how you can like avoid making the same mistake again. Because once you've like looked back on it and you realize like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that, you'll probably remember not to do that. And for me, it's like, remember to not let your house go to crap and make sure you're maintaining it. Yeah, I think that's it. It's just like self-reflection is necessary so that you don't make the same mistake again. My last takeaway is that there's a benefit to reframing things in a positive light. It can help you manage all of the challenges you're dealing with, as long as you're reflecting on what went wrong and how you can change it and learning from it and being grateful for what you have in your life and acknowledging the severity of your situation instead of just dismissing it and thinking positive thought. That's how you can differentiate what you're doing from what other people call as toxic positivity. Because this is still trying to be positive, but just not in a toxic way where it's all positive, all light, all sunshine. And
the universe is gonna come to me and fix everything for me.
It's like, no, you have to take a very proactive role in the life that you're in. By doing so, that's how you can get yourself out of it. If you have a hard time positioning things in a positive light, can you share with me in the comments what difficulties you're experiencing with it? Because I know it took me a long time to get where I'm at. I don't want to forget the experience of how it was when I first started. So I want to know what you're feeling right now so that I can remember to keep that perspective and point of view in mind when making these types of videos. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!